Hey, what's going on, guys? John Shea here, and today we're going to be talking about a popular search engine optimization tool called SEMRush. In this video, I'm going to be walking you through the majority of the features inside of SEMRush. We're going to be doing some testing as we go in and actually dive into a couple example sites that I have and showing you how to utilize some of the tools with this software. So let's really just kind of go over all the different features as to what SEMRush offers. They have a ton of different things that you can do with this software. So for most of these, we'll kind of be diving into some more than others, some maybe not as much, but let's just kind of go over some of the different things that they can do. So there's 6 tools that are specifically designed for keyword research. This is going to be really important for helping you find the best keywords to actually rank your sites, get them really showing up higher on Google, and ultimately finding what I like to call buyer intent keywords, things that are going to bring you money and sales for whatever it is that you're doing online. On-page SEO, this is going to help you with your site's health, basically anything to do with SEO on the website itself. So that could be titles, meta descriptions, image issues, anything like that that's really going to come up with the on-site portion of SEO. You have competitor analysis tools, so you can actually look and see, what are my competitors doing? How can I, get more backlinks? How can I do things that are going to basically get me ahead of what my competitors are doing? You have content marketing tools, so this will help you develop content. Once you've gone and done keyword research, you know what you're going to be doing for your on-page SEO. You've done some competitor analysis. Now you're obviously going to be coming in and creating content to rank on the search engines and ultimately beat out your competitors and show up really high in Google. This content marketing suite of tools is going to help you perform even better with all that content. Local SEO, this is obviously going to help you with any local sites. So we're going to use an example site, a client of mine really today as we go through this. But this has multiple different tools that you can utilize for tracking keywords, looking at things that are going to be really relevant for local search, like business listings, all sorts of different things that they've created with the local SEO suite of tools. You also have rank tracking. So obviously, as you start to rank with your sites, you want to be able to track, what's happening. Are keywords going up or down? And they have different tools for that. Social media management, so you can get more brand awareness around social media posting and analytics. And then you also have link building. So this is going to help you find more opportunities to strengthen your link building profile. This is one of the biggest pieces of really what's considered off-page SEO to be able to help you outrank competitors, right? If you're doing the right thing with on-page SEO, you have good titles, good keywords, you're going for low-hanging fruit opportunities, you get your content down, the backlinks is what's really going to boost you to get to a point where you can start building more. So we're going to go over some of their tools on that as well. You also have competitor SEO analysis. So again, you can look at what the competitors are doing, get more information around content creation and distribution, content optimization, content marketing analytics, market analysis. You have a whole suite of paid advertising tools, competitor PR monitoring, PPC keyword research, and website monetization. So again, we're going to go into most of these and just kind of jump in. SEMRush, I'm basically now signed in with a pro account. So this is what you're going to see as soon as you come in. Basically, we can dive into specific projects based on URLs that we've added in. So I'm actually going to go ahead and we're going to use an example site that I'll use as kind of my national site called Skull Clothing Net. This is actually a site that I built many years ago as an affiliate site where I was promoting products on Amazon, earning commissions through the Amazon Associates program. So it was very critical to have keywords that ranked. I haven't really focused on it for many years, but this will be a good little case study as we kind of jump into SEMRush. I can put in this specific URL, and now we can start to get data about what's going on in the domain overview section. So I'm pretty much in this video going to walk you through each of these. We're going to start with the competitive research under SEO, and then we'll go down the list and pretty much go into each of these tools, and we can get a general idea of what it is that they offer and how you can use these when it comes to either working on your own sites or maybe your client sites. So with domain overview, this really gives us a very good general overlook of everything. You have an authority score. Again, they give you data around all of this. Organic search traffic, it shows that this has gone up overall since August. We have some paid search traffic data as well, but currently I'm not running any paid traffic. And then you also have referring domains. There's 2.7 thousand backlinks going to this domain. And then we also have distribution in terms of traffic, organic keywords, and we can also see what some of the top ranking keywords are, keywords by intent, organic competitors, and then you can also dive into like advertising research. So let's go into each of these. Let's jump into traffic analytics. we can now start to really dive in on specific things, and similarly to what you'd see in Google Analytics, we can add some data in here to really get more of a drilled down comparison. So if we want to start adding competitors, and what I'm actually going to do is just go to Google and take sort of the primary keyword, in this case skull clothing, and I'm going to take a couple domains here that we could use as competitors. So the skull flow would probably be a really good one to start with. So they appear to be a competitor because they're targeting that particular keyword. So we're going to add them as a competitor, and we're going to add a second competitor. So we'll just have two competitors in here as comparison. I'm going to back up, and then I saw another one here, everything skull. And we'll use this as our third competitor. So I can plug all of these in, and now I can start to utilize some of this as a way to get data around what's happening, right? Like what are they getting in terms of data for search traffic? And you can see some significant differences between these domains, what's happening with bounce rates, all sorts of different data. We can see statistics month to month, where they're getting a lot of their traffic, if it's referral traffic, organic traffic. We have lots of data that we can start comparing with all of this, right? They do have some advanced features you can get as well. If you get upgraded to their $200 a month plan, you can also basically use this for more deeper research for like prospecting, industry data, things like that. But this really does give you a good insight as well as a nice comparison. You can even drill down based on specific countries as well as specific devices. Now, heading over to organic research, we now have the ability where we can dig into specific keywords that SEMRush has discovered based on what's actually ranking. Traffic, the traffic cost, if we were bidding on those terms. We can now go and look at our top organic keywords. We can see top position changes, like what's actually gone up or down depending on certain things that are ranking on Google. And we could really see, over time, once we start tracking our money keywords, meaning things that have traffic, they have buyer volume, we could utilize the SEMRush tools to have a better idea of what's actually going on as we start to produce content and make changes on the site based on their recommendations. We also have a keyword gap here, so we can go in and add these other domains, and I can do some keyword gap analysis. So we're just going to use everything skull for this one. It looks like it ate my other competitor there, but I can now go in and kind of see, how do I rank based on some comparable keywords. So this is really useful, right? We know that our competitor in this case is ranking number 26 for this particular keyword. I could actually drill in and look at, kind of adding this to a database as something we want to target. And then I could start to even look closer at this keyword and figure out, is it something I want to rank for? What's kind of the analysis of that keyword, right? Who is actually ranking for that? We see a lot of shops in this case because this is kind of an e-commerce based keyword. So we're getting a lot of like Amazon, Walmart, eBay, Etsy. So is it worth me going after this? And what are the competitors doing in terms of that particular keyword? So all data that's going to be really helpful, as well as looking, in this case, this has really high volume. So this might be something that's worth going after depending on those SERP results. So I can kind of look at all this data and then compile the keywords and do this research. This is a really good starting point of understanding, how am I going to grow a site from an SEO perspective. So again, tons of data that we can drill into on this. We can also look at backlink gaps. So this is a great opportunity where I can now go in and say, okay, well, what are some potential opportunities that I could go and get in terms of keywords, or rather sites that I could get linked from that maybe are going to be useful for my particular domain, right? And I could even go in and start looking at links that my competitors have. So I can see everything skull, it might be able to give me some outreach ideas, and we can actually go in and use SEMRush as an outreach tool, almost CRM, if you will, to kind of manage this outreach and figure out, where are some opportunities for us to build links and get more links back to our site, and what are the sites that we can use to do that. So I could go and let's say I wanted to get something from the Warrior Forum, I could do start outreach, and now I could actually go in and select a project. Right now we don't have one created, but let's say my project was for skull clothing. I could actually go in and start saving these and then just coming up with a list, sort of a organized way of approaching all of these backlinks. Jumping into keyword research, we can go even more here. We're going to just do the keyword skull clothing. And if I do search, this is going to give me a ton of data around this particular keyword. So it's going to give me various variations, questions that come up around that, related keywords that are similar to that. We have a total volume the difficulty, like how competitive is it to actually go and rank for that keyword? What is the overall volume from country? Intent, informational, like are they more buyers or looking for information? And I would say this is probably more of a buyer type term as opposed to someone looking for like answers to a question. But as we go in, we can actually see the SERP results for that. We can look at the referring domains. We can really get kind of a deep dive on what's going on, right? So I know that Everything Skull has 180 referring domains. I could go in and start looking at some of these domains based on that keyword and now saying, well, how can I go and find the same opportunity, right? I could dig into this a little bit more and figure out like, where did they get this link? How can I go get a link from outfi.com? And you can actually see here that this is the exact URL. This is exactly where they link to. And it's very, very powerful for me to now figure out like, okay, how can I maybe go and get a link now on that same site, right? And I can even drill into this a lot more and start looking at all these other domains that are competitors and figuring out, can I also, find an opportunity to get my site listed here? Is that something I can do? And if that site isn't possible, I can kind of move on and just keep going through the list and ultimately finding more links that the competitor does not have. So this is very, very powerful. Obviously, we have lots of data that we can look at here. If we go and jump back to our keyword research, we can use this tool to really drill down and come up with a solid keyword list. Usually what I would do in building out sites is I would go in and actually add a ton of keywords to a spreadsheet based on main factors of buyer intent, and then also looking at the ability as to whether or not I believe it's something that I could actually rank for. So kind of looking at some low-hanging fruit opportunities depending on the age of the site, the backlink profile, and all these different things, right? So a lot of this is going to come into play when you're, working with your own sites or maybe a client site that could have been around for many years. Diving into some of the other tools, we can look at the keyword magic tool. So this also gives us almost a different variation here of broad match, phrase match, exact match, related. You could do different things in terms of CPC. So this is really going to give you a lot more data around specific things that you may want to be looking at for these keywords. Maybe you're going to plan on running paid advertising campaigns around a particular client's keywords. This is going to help you with some of that data. You don't have to go and externally be running ads with Google AdWords to go and get that data. This is going to give it all to you right inside of SEMRush. So this is really powerful. You can add everything to that keyword list and then start using this as a way to do your research. We also have a keyword manager. So this is going to allow you to collect your favorite keywords from across SEMRush, save that data, and then get new metrics, and you can export it and use it with our other tools. So we create a list and then kind of start building out keywords based on different categories, right? So let's just say that I wanted to start with skull clothing, but then maybe I expand out and do something like Halloween costumes. So I could build a whole list around the Halloween costume niche and then drill down and kind of segregate those depending on what I want. We also have position tracking, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put my domain into the actual position tracker here, and we can actually set up specific tracking. So I could do Google, I'm going to do US, and then full business name, I'm just going to say skull clothing. And now we can continue to keywords. So for now, I'm just going to do skull clothing, and then I'll do something like skull clothes. We'll just keep it really simple. I'll even add another one, Halloween costumes, which obviously is going to be extremely competitive. But now we can do start tracking. Oops, we can do add. So we have to hit add, and then now it's basically going to give us the ability to start tracking those keywords. And now this is something I can go back to at any time. It's going to go ahead and gather data on this, which we could then come back to at any time to kind of track and measure what's happening with those keywords over time. So we'll let that run. We might come back to that later, but that's the general idea of this. Pretty straightforward. Organic traffic insights. So this is kind of a what they call an easy, not provided keyword solution for combining Google Analytics, Search Console, and SEMrush data. So again, we'll take our domain and we're going to throw this in here. And this one may take a little bit of time. Let's see. We can actually connect our Google account. So this will allow me to connect Google Search Console as well as Google Analytics, and then I can kind of combine the data that I'm getting from those platforms with SEMrush and then utilize all of that together. So I'm not going to do this right now just for sake of time, but you get the general idea of what this is going to provide to you. Now we can also start jumping into some of the link building tools. So let's actually throw in our domain on the Backlink Analytics tool. And I was looking at this a little bit earlier, but this starts to give me a lot more data around specific things that might be useful for my domain. So you can see 8 new backlinks were found today. We can look at specific anchor text keywords, so you can actually see people linking my exact domain, linking a specific product, various domains, URLs, various products. So there's all kinds of different things that are going to be relevant, like men's skull vests, right? And I can actually drill in and see like who actually mentioned that URL and where did it come from. So I can see these are various domains as to where this was linked to, and these are all coming back to my site. Whether or not they're going to be useful or not is, something you can dig into on your own. But obviously, all of this is generally going to be helping you, especially if they're, related in some capacity. So it looks like here we have a lot of various either specific products or variations, Halloween-related topics, things like that. Some of which, is all good stuff. And then we can also look in at our referring domains, and we can do some digging as to finding out like where are we getting our links from and who's linking to us, and I can kind of drill down into that. Some of which may or may not be like toxic links, so we could use that as something we maybe want to no index with Google, or we want to find things that are going to be useful and obviously realize that that's helping our overall backlink profile. So that's going to give you a really good drill down of all of this, and you can even do like an audit to kind of understand, do we have some toxicity? Is there issues? What are some of the things that we're doing in terms of, what are the best keywords that we're getting from certain specific domains, or our anchor text, varied in such a way that it's helping us, right? All these different things that are going to help us in terms of an overall SEO campaign. We can also do a backlink audit. So this will allow us, if we throw in our domain, it's going to give us some idea as to what's going on. This has me go through a campaign, so we can do various versions. I'm going to just do the root here. And now I can go ahead and actually, I'm going to just cancel this for now. We could connect Google's Search Console to go and check the toxicity of these links, and it's going to help us create a healthy backlink profile. So this is more or less going to investigate the quality through 45 toxic markers. It's going to group referring domains by IP, title, category, really give us like an idea of what's going on, and then we can act on those insights and typically remove them and have them removed from our list. And then we can disavow those specifically with Google, so that way they're not going to affect us. Even if those links still exist, it's not going to affect our sites negatively. So this is something that's very powerful and really awesome in terms of what they built. So that's going to run in the background. We'll keep going through some of the tools. We also now have a link building tool. So again, I'm going to enter our domain. We're going to hit start. And this is going to give me the ability to take specific keywords. So you can see it already pre-populated this with 7 relevant keywords. I'm then going to go in and start adding if I want competitors. So we'll just take our one competitor here for now. And I'm going to jump back. I want to say, well, I want to beat out everything skull. And then I want to start link building. And this is going to actually help me build out a campaign where I could typically figure out, who are some opportunities as to who I could go after. It allows us to break this all down by keyword types, competitors, mentions, whether or not we've uploaded those. We can select the best link prospects that we want to go after, and then we can actually start reaching out to them and using their tools to kind of manage and grant access to our Gmail, so we can manually start reaching out to them and basically using this as a tool to monitor all that. So very, very awesome what they built with this. This is still collecting the data, so we can come back to this a little bit later. We also have a bulk backlink analysis, so if we want to look at multiple sites, you can do that with this tool. Jumping into some of the on-page stuff, this is very, very powerful. SEMRush has probably one of the best site auditors that I've seen. I've tested many of them, and we're actually going to, again, take my site, and I don't really know exactly what the results of this will be, but I'm going to actually limit the pages to 100, and we're just going to do the main site. And I'm going to hit start, and this is basically going to go through and do an on-page assessment of the entire website. So it's going to give us some idea of like, what are the title tags? Are there major issues with certain things that they're struggling with? So all of this we can kind of go through, and I'm just going to do the initial. This is basically starting its crawl, so I think this is going to run in the background, and more or less this will help me really understand a lot of the things that I need to fix on the site. Understanding if there's issues with specific things, if there's errors, warnings, performance of the site, internal links that I've created. Is the site slow? Like, what are the core web vitals? All these different things that they're going to look at. So we're actually going to let this run. This may take a little bit of time, and we'll come back to this one as well. Jumping into the listing manager, this allows you to check your local listings. So this is really more for local business typically, but I'm going to throw in one of my clients I built a website 4 years ago, Sean's Plumbing and Heating over in North Andover. And this is going to load up and it's going to give me some basic data about what's going on with their local listings. So you can see here there's 79 total listings and it's still loading some data here, but you can already see that there's some missed opportunities. There's about 29 and still loading some sites that we could have Sean's Plumbing and Heating listed on, right? So Chamber of Commerce, he's probably doesn't have a membership with the Commerce, but there's tons of other directories here like 8 Coupons, AV Local, American Towns, that some of these directories get thousands of monthly visits and we could potentially be on them, which is also going to help his chances of ranking higher in the Google Maps. So all of this is really going to be very useful. They do have a premium tool that you can actually go in and if I do this boost option, I can actually purchase these citations. They'll contact me and then let me know pricing on this. Currently it ranks his presence as bad because there's about 33 of them that we need to fix, but his overall rating is pretty good. We do have like 58 reviews on Google, so he does really well there. And then there's some other things that we could get data insights on if we sign up for their premium option. So you could get more tracking around those bad reviews as well as tracking on reviews that he has not answered. You also have the ability to monitor that reputation over time and just sort of maintain everything, as well as get some local SEO competitive analysis. So these are all add-ons that you can get if you're dealing with like local clients or maybe you're doing this for your own business. Going into the SEO content template, this is basically a actionable brief for SEO friendly content with just a few clicks. So again, let's take our example keyword, we'll do skull clothing. And if I do create content template, this is going to give me some general ideas as to good content that I could create around that keyword, which is obviously something that for content creation can be very challenging, right? So they kind of give me some rivals here. Here's some semantic keywords that are related. We can take a look at some backlinks that we have for that keyword. We can take a look at readability here, like average score for 10 URLs. We can look at text length, all sorts of different things here that may be relevant based on what we're looking at. And we can also examine those keywords within some of the results that we have in that top 10 and get some recommendations around our on-page SEO. So this is here, you can see the page title, meta description, H1 tags, text, different things that we should be utilizing when we target that keyword as we create our content. We can also do an on-page SEO checker. So again, let's take a look at skullclothing.net. I'm going to throw this one in and do get ideas, and it actually hit me with the limitation here. So this is something I could always come back to, but right now my subscription doesn't have the full plan to be able to check this. But generally, this is going to give me, as you can see here, an idea of different strategy ideas, backlink ideas, different technical SEO ideas. You can get a report for all the pages on your site. I think it's actually still loading for my plan, so that might be why I already put it in on another page with the audit. But this basically gives us tons more data that we can kind of utilize as we're building out the site. We also have this log file analyzer. So this is a newer tool that it's going to help you understand how the search engines actually interact with your site. So you could drop access log files here, and they give you some advantages to this. Basically, it shows you how to download this from your FTP client and upload those files. So this will kind of give you almost like bot activity, like some of the data they'll pull back is like what errors were found during the crawl, what pages were not crawled, is the budget being spent efficiently, what are the most crawled pages, can you manage Google bots crawling, all of those different things. So this may actually be a good thing to do just to make sure that when the search engines are actually looking through your site, is it easy for them to do it, right? And is there something that's amiss? Now we can also start jumping into some of our local SEO tools. So heading over here on the left, we have our listing management, which I already showed you guys. We also have review management, which again is part of that same suite. So this is a newer tool where you can do the monitoring of reputation. This is an example of that. So we can see using the Google API, we can pull in a Google review, and we can also go and create sort of conversations by replying to them and responding to those reviews. We can look at insights as to what our overall review rankings are and identify issues with that. And then we can start capturing some of those local listings if we have not done that. And you can connect directly into Google Business, Facebook, Bing, Yelp, Instagram, all the above, and you can sort of use this to track, what you've been doing in terms of all of your major profiles that you should have your business on. So all of this kind of goes into some of the importance of this, the subscription, all that stuff. Jumping into some of the other pieces here, we also have our position tracking, which is going to apply as well for local. So regardless of whether or not you're doing this for national or local sites, it's all going to be within the same tool. You have your site audit. Again, same thing. You can do this with your site. And again, mine's still loading here, but you can see it is making progress. It's going through and crawling all the pages. And then again, you also have the on-page checker. So same thing, basically going to work the same as your national campaigns. Jumping over into advertising, you have a whole other suite of tools here. So you have an advertising dashboard. This is basically going to allow you to do market analysis, jump in with that keyword research using some of the other tools, ad tracking, as well as your social media advertising. So the main things that you're going to be able to do with this is reveal your main paid search competitors, see the keywords that they're bidding on, discover examples of their live ads. We can do some PLA research to kind of understand more about what's going on with competitors. And we can look at keyword gaps, use that keyword magic tool, PPC keyword tool, so we can look more at specifically like ad types with Google AdWords. So this could be broad match, phrase match, exact match, or even modified broad match type keywords. And we can also utilize the position tracking as we're doing all of this, as well as social media advertising. So again, we're going to be able to jump back in and get a lot of similar functionality with many of these tools. So a lot of this is just a repeat, if you will, but I'm basically able to go back and utilize these specific tools if I'm going to be doing anything with paid ads. So one of the most important things, again, with any PPC campaign is going to be making sure that you have the ability to create a really solid keyword list. I can't tell you how many times I used to work for an agency many, many years ago where I was going in and actually listening to phone calls and finding out that they were running AdWords ads on like drain cleaning, and come to find out that company didn't even offer drain cleaning. So there was a disconnect between whether or not it was being offered, and we were running all these ads, spending all this money, having people literally click and go to a landing page, pick up the phone, spending advertising dollars when the company didn't even offer that as a service. So you really can utilize a keyword list that you could then review with your potential clients when you're going to be setting up some PPC campaigns for them, and then go and actually remove conflicting keywords, collect the keywords that you want to go after, and then kind of organize it all as something that's going to be a nice data set that they could then kind of review with you. You can see a history of ads, so you can actually analyze past ads, see the advertisers you compete with, identify what time of the year you're going to get the most competition. So this is really going to give you a lot of data around this. So if I went and plugged in Skull Clothing, I could actually see, who is running ads on this. And right now it looks like they don't have any data on that, but ultimately you could probably use this to get some data around some of these keywords. They give some examples here, so let's put in movies. So again, we can see here's traffic that's being driven for ads as of August of this year. Going in and seeing what people have done, like what kind of traffic, who are the sites that are doing this, right? So very interesting data that you might be able to use when you're doing all your setup for your advertising. Social media ads, this is a new tool. Apparently it looks like they're actually going to be closing this, but they basically have reports that will continue to work, but you will no longer be able to edit ads directly through SEMRush. So this is something that you may have some reporting data, but won't be able to actually make changes or edits. Jumping into social media, you do have a social media dashboard. So this is actually a tool that you can try to kind of go in and come up with winning strategies, create and distribute content, adjust that strategy, and then you can get those results based on what you're seeing from all the publishing. So this is something that's going to be great if you're going to be doing like scheduling a post, you're running this for multiple clients. This may help you as opposed to getting other third-party solutions. This is something you could utilize alongside all their SEO tools to kind of create a strategy and schedule everything. You have a poster tool here as well, so if you want, you can actually go in and connect Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google My Business, as well as Pinterest. So the fact that you can also connect in Google My Business is a really big pro here, because if you're working with like a local client, let's say it's a plumber, I go connect with my plumber Sean, he may have a Facebook profile, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. He's going to be on Google. He's also potentially going to be using Pinterest, maybe not as much for that niche, but it'd be a good opportunity to be able to connect all of these with that particular client, and then you can manage all of this and track it all within one place. We can also start tracking everything once we've done that. So I could go in and I'm going to add the Skull Clothing domain. I could then connect all these specific profiles and track all my social profiles within that domain. So we're going to leave this for now, but you get the general idea. We can also get analytics, so we can see what's going on with like Google Business Profile Insights. We can check performance, and then we can add our major social platforms to kind of see what's going on in terms of views on posts, interactions, things like that, comments, likes, all that good stuff. They also have, we already mentioned this, the social media ads is going to be closing. We can now jump into the content marketing dashboard. So this is a whole other suite of tools. They have various topics here where you can go in and get topic research. You can come up with either headlines, subtopics, questions. I'm going to actually just go in and type in Skull Clothing, and we'll see what comes back here. If we do find content ideas, this is going to go in and try to give me some ideas around that particular keyword. And we may even get some subtopics as well. We can go in and favorite ideas, and we can even order content writing directly through them. So that's something too. If you want to outsource your content writing, you could do that. But this is giving me tons of ideas that are kind of varied around this. You can look at it in different ways as cards, explorer, overview. You can do a mind map. You can even sort by trending topics. So very, very powerful. Looks like here it's taking a bit to load. But we'll let that kind of run for a bit, see if that comes back. We already looked at the SEO content template. You have a writing assistant. So this is another tool. If you want to start writing, we can actually import from the web, or we can start putting in our own content, and then it will give us suggestions based on what we're doing. We have brand monitoring. So again, we already set this up, but if I want to do this, they are going to be discontinuing this. So probably not something that we'll be utilizing for too much longer. Post tracking, again, so we can kind of track what's going on through external content. If we know that maybe we did like a guest post or something like that, we could actually track the efficiency of that and if it's actually helping us. Content audit, this will give us an idea of doing an automated audit. You can kind of use this to increase your content quality, make improvements for higher rankings and traffic. And then we have various integration options for Google Analytics and Google Docs. There's lots of different help content around this, so definitely something that may be helpful depending on what you're going to be looking into. Going into trends, we can actually look into some of this. So this gives us some real-time market and competitive insights. With SEMRush Trends, it's basically going to give you access to more data around analytics. You get a market explorer, and then this Ion tool that's going to give you some more idea around tracking your rivals' moves and new content that they're putting out. And then you also have an API as well that you could tie into this. If we go over to traffic analytics, we can actually use this to, again, look deeper at competitors. Market explorer, again, we can use this to analyze a single domain. I'm going to throw our domain in, and we can now select competitors, and we'll do a couple of these, and now I can actually go and do create and analyze, and this is basically a list where I can now go in and kind of analyze months of data, and it goes through and gives you a little tutorial here on how all this works. But this is going to give me kind of like different variations of top keywords, trending keywords, data. So this is a good way to kind of dive a little bit deeper on a content level, looking at trends, different things that are happening between different competitors. Ion, this again, we can enter some of our competing domains. So we'll take everything Skull, and I can now start monitoring them and figuring out like what's going on with them, right? Like what are they doing to come up higher? Are they creating more blog posts? Did they all of a sudden start running ads, right? Are they creating new pages on their website, right? What is all this stuff? And we can use this data to kind of get out ahead of them. Looking at some of the agency solutions, and I'm actually excited to talk about this because some of these are really cool. You can actually become a certified SEMRush agency partner, and if you do that, you can actually get leads handed to you, right? So this means that you're someone that is very savvy with all the SEMRush tools. Companies are now looking for a potential agency that maybe understands these tools and knows how to work and actually help a business rank higher in Google. You're basically being certified in a sense so they can pass you leads, and you can see here some of these leads could be worth $1,000 to $2,500 or even over $5,000 that potentially are lead requests coming directly to SEMRush. So this is going to give you kind of an edge up if you decide to go and get certified and utilize all of their suite, software tools. So they have you actually create, you get certified, you get to create your agency profile, and then you can start landing new inbound leads utilizing their traffic, right? You have a bid finder here, so this is obviously going to help you with tendering opportunities for your agency. They basically go out and this is going to help you find more clients based around certain topics. So maybe if we go in here, if I want to find more marketing strategy type deals, I can do a search, and this is going to now give me the opportunity with the agency growth kit add-on. You can basically go in and find opportunities here for drafting more proposals around particular types of opportunities that are out there and existing as an agency. You also have a built-in CRM, which again is typically something I've seen in other other agency softwares or third-party tools. So I think it's cool that they have this in here. You can use this as a way to kind of manage what's going on with the clients, right? You can collaborate with them, securely organize all of their data, streamline the whole management suite, all within this software. So let's just say I'm going to add Skull Clothing. I'm going to add them as a client. I can now go in and basically set up all of this different data within this. So I can actually add their budget. I could go in and add all the specific reports that I've done, connect existing reports, add projects. I can create new tasks. So I'm even going to do this as a demo here, and you can see titles. So let's just say we have something like build website. We can add a priority of high. We can set a due date of tomorrow, and then we'll just say, launch new website. Then we can put a status on this. It's in progress, completed, archived. So we'll say it's in progress. This is an onboarding task type, and then we can actually relate a tool to this. So obviously this may not be super relevant here, but let's just say the task on hand might be a site audit, right? At the end of it, we're going to audit the site, and then this is going to take 5 hours. Maybe it's more, and it's going to be, I don't know, $4,000, right? Well, that's what we'll add. So we're going to add that, and now we can actually track this, and this gives us a good way of seeing what's in progress, how much time it has, what it's worth, and then we can even move it into these other buckets. So this is pretty cool. I really like that they've done this, and it gives a good idea as to what's going on with specific tasks and how to actually go about completing them versus showing what's in progress. You can also add documents here from your computer. If you go up to the agency growth kit, they add more storage. So this is going to be good because you can keep all your client files in one place. They also have a client portal. So this is going to allow you to create a secure portal with all your dashboards, reports for your client, everything, so that they get direct access, and it has white label options, so they won't even know that you're using SEMRush. They do have a demo here you can check out as well. We'll see if we can open that because I'm curious what it looks like. myinsights.io, and then you have a unique URL. So if I do go to portal, this is basically what it's going to look like. So this is pretty awesome. I can have someone go in and they'll see all the reports, all the data, everything that's going on, all directly within this unique URL, and everything's going to be spit out completely white label, and we could just have the client name up here, and we could add our agency information as well as whatever else we'd want to add specifically to that client so they can view this. So very, very powerful and really awesome for agency owners. Let's see, what else do we have? We also have My Reports. So this, again, is just going to give us more data around different things. You can combine data from different things. You can white label, automate all the reporting, have it automatically get emailed out to your clients. Very, very powerful. Really cool that they've added all this. You also have some management tools here. So this is, I believe, where we just were. We can jump into our lead generation tools. This will allow us to start drumming up leads for our agency. So we can actually create a little widget here that we could use on our agency site and use this to capture leads and bring them into SEMRush. We have a marketing calendar that we can use to organize, coordinate, and track all of our marketing campaigns. So maybe if we're working on something specific, like writing an article, doing a webinar, presentation, doing phone calls, leads, prospects, any of that stuff, we can organize all of that and basically set up a whole team integration within this. So pretty awesome. You also have a notes list, so you can go in here and compose notes and add them in here, so just almost like a little note section. And then you have this page improve. So this is basically a new tool that is going to allow you to get some idea of what's going on to kind of turn some of that traffic into revenue faster. If you're tired of, in this case, waiting for developers to implement the SEO solutions, you can actually install this on the site. It's going to give you an idea as to what to update and go through and directly make some of these changes on your own, and then you can share the changes with your team or actually roll them back. So this is kind of a cool way of getting more of an implementation going versus just sitting around waiting. I can tell you right now, this is a huge fault with a lot of agencies, where it's either usually the clients or maybe someone's taking too long, like a developer, to actually go and implement a change that's been suggested. So this is kind of cool that they decided to do this, because I think it is a big problem that I see come up a lot. Beyond that, you do have more other options here. You could join their affiliate program, SEO Quake, all these other tools that they offer. I will say, for anybody that signs up, you do get a free trial of SEMRush. I'm going to leave a link below in the description. I know that this has been a long video. Typically my software review videos are shorter, but SEMRush is just such a massive tool, massive suite of software with tons of different options, all sorts of data that you can collect. I really think that they're probably one of the most competitive in terms of tools and things that are being offered within, all packaged into one package deal, right? And I did actually want to go back to our SEO site audit and see if this turned back, and it looks like it did. So if I jump into this site, you can see I can come in here and I can actually look at some of the things that need to be changed, warnings, other issues that are basically coming back, right? So this actually found a bunch of broken links on my site. There's some structured data issues, pages that have 404 errors or other types of errors. So all of this stuff I can start looking into and using this as a way to kind of start making changes and fixing problems. And all of this is going to be really good for your client sites, as well as just monitoring general health. So yeah, again, I would give this tool a definitely 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I mean, they are one of the biggest in terms of offering SEO solutions for really helping you get all that you're going to need. Looking at some of their now local SEO tools and just being a user with them now going on probably 7-8 years. I've been playing around with this tool back years ago when I worked at an agency, and just now I think they've really done a number of different things to improve the software, make it a lot better, as well as adding lots of new functionality that just makes a lot of good sense. Even having some of the built-in software tools for agencies, I think is extremely powerful if you're an agency yourself, or if you're just someone trying to build up your own site. This could be a really good option to help you understand what it is exactly that you need to do to make those changes to actually get you ahead of your competitors. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video review. Be sure to check the link below in the description. You can jump in with my link, and you guys get a free trial. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment on the video, and thank you so much for watching.